checks, various checks, various variousnesses. Who's gonna pop first? D-Line. We're doing sound checks. Hit. Various check. Find it. These various variousnesses. It's the book du. No, it's the Hill du Fox. Oh, here comes D-Live. So Fox Hill's up. The Foxhole's up. D-Live's up. YouTube says it's up. Dismiss. Aw, come on, YouTube. Come on, YouTube. There we go. YouTube, you're popping. Quick response. Let's refresh my Facebook page. There we go. Live. Cool. Restream. Live for 40 seconds, but it's not showing. There we go. Alright. I notice I don't blink on the reptile. How much time do we have? 3 minutes and 10 seconds. Peek. Until the 9dNation intro. 3 minutes. Whew. Oh, that was very breathy into the mic. Hello, lurkers. Oh, that reminds me. Chat screen. Got some lurkers around. Oh, you know, I gotta look into some other stream. You know, I pay that small fee. Restream is amazing. You know, like, you've never used it. It's fantastic. I paid the very, very reasonable monthly fee. And it's like, there's probably a lot more channels I can stream to for the price I paid. But you know, I haven't done it yet. It's on my to-do list. I have a file called the to-do list, and it's on there. It's totally on there. Should I tip the camera a little bit? I feel like I should get a little more centered. You know, the show to be centered on is epistemology on Sunday nights. But 9dNation likes to be centered too. Got 2 minutes. During these 2 minutes, let me say, this is when I recharge. These 2 hours on Wednesday are just so fun. Hour and a half, 2 hours, 2.5 hours, whatever it turns into. Just so fun. I don't know why. And season 1's going to come to an end. Probably in another month. I know I keep saying it's a month away. I've got some better math. I'll talk about that in a second. Let's see how we're lurking. Oh, those links are wrong. I guess I messed up. Let me see if I can update titles. Yeah. Let's look at Facebook. Change this settings. Yeah. I don't know if I should do that. Yeah, I won't. Those links are wrong. Oh well. 40 seconds to go. Ooh, awkward silence. 30 seconds. It'll all make sense very soon. We're on the real part of the countdown right now. All right, let's get her done.
Welcome to the 9dNation. בראשית ברא אלוהים את השמיים ואת הארץ.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Thousands of years later, it was Wednesday at 11 p.m. Central. Get your passport ready and be prepared to declare to the customs agents any edible plants or miscellaneous worldviews. You're now crossing into the nation with no denomination.
That may be the first time in history where I didn't restart the countdown when I zoomed in. I'm going to try volume setting 4 to start. All right. And countdown, hit stream, hit record, start background music. I did all that. Turn on stream, top of show. Play the intro. I did that. I'm your host, G. Ross. On our Friday show, we have a co-host, Angular. But tonight, he's asleep. Or he better be. Because he's got school in the morning. I've got work in the morning, but typically on Wednesdays, we broadcast on Facebook, YouTube, DLive, and Foxhole. Call-ins are welcome. The information's on the screen. That little Discord link there. Say bleep bloop or howdy or something when you come in. So 9dNation is the nation with no denomination. We have 2 seasons planned for this show. A short first season and a really long second season. The first season is looking back on Facebook posts covering 13 years. And then when that's done, in about a month, I keep saying that, we'll do a Bible study starting from Genesis and maybe bouncing around, who knows what. So I noticed something when I was putting together the notes for today. Episode 1 covered about a year of Facebook posts, starting in 2009. Episode 2, about a year. Now, sometimes the episodes were longer, you know. Episode 3, 2 years. Episode 4, 5 years. Now I got a little shorter because I was super busy, but episode 4 covered 5 years. Episode 5 covered 2 months. Episode 6 covered 4 months. Episode 7 covered a month. So it gets real dense on the kind of stuff I want to highlight, which is things I posted on Facebook having to do with Q or Flat Earth. Why Flat Earth? Just cuz. Why Q? Because that's the point of the Foxhole. I'm trying to bring people in from elsewhere. Not that the Foxhole is the only place you should ever hang out, but it pretty much is the only place you'd ever hang out. I'm thinking in around May, late April, early May is when we'll switch to season 2. So let's get cracking. Let's get right on it. Let's just start. Let me check how the lurkers, yeah, about the same, so I don't really have to. It helps me to know, like, when the lurking number goes up, I then kind of re-describe what we're doing tonight, you know? And let me check OBS. Oh, there's not a lot of lurkers outside of the Foxhole. That's okay. That's okay. We'll get them. People watch the replays sometimes, I think. Let's go to the main screen. All right, so this is my Facebook feed in the format of when you've saved Facebook. Or, you know, like when you've output all of its stuff. All right. Let's get going. January 15th, 2019. We're time traveling. We're not going to travel really fast through time. We're at about a 3-year delta, right? 3 year and a couple months. The Napa Valley Register said, let's click on it. Oh, this is when, so this was kind of my, how do I get rid of that? Back to home page. Oh, please. All right, hold on. Let me do, I don't have any, I need to change browsers, I really do. Right-wing activist enters property of Nancy Pelosi near St. Helena. Not arrested. I mean, this is a perfect example. They have to tell you. So you're a reader. You're a typical reader. I have 2 kinds of people that I hope are, I think I've gotten to know. The chatty foxhole people are like, yeah, you know, we remember this, blah, blah, blah. The not as chatty, hopefully 1 or 2 humans out there will see this and be like, what is this all about? Like, they have to tell you. And so my comment on Facebook, let's see if I wrote it there. You trespass on Pelosi's yard and don't get arrested? I asked. Oh, this was hilarious. Gene-friendly food. I want to say I took this at, I want to say a local sushi restaurant. I don't know. That wasn't supposed to be part of the plan tonight, but. So now we're going to go down to Jan 15, 2019. Skipping ahead a little. Keep in mind, this is, so January of 19. When did Branch Covidia start? Was it 3 years ago or 2 years ago? It was after, it was at the beginning of the 2020 election year. So yeah, okay. So we're like, we're still a year away from the Chinese doom that came at us from China. Okay. So CNN says, and I linked to it on January 15th, 3 years ago. Former FBI General Counsel James Baker under criminal investigation. Now, if I remember right, there's some investigations still going on where James Baker was one of the sort of pass-throughs for, I forget now already who, but like some of the double agents were like, doing unmasking and all this other stuff, or just misusing blah. So James Baker, it's a name, keep it in mind. So what did I say? You coming at Baker, bruh? So I was in a very Streisand-y season. Like, I was trying to attract the lefty, well, I shouldn't say lefty. The sleepy friends of mine, like, please pay attention, please, without like freaking them out, right? Because what I was doing before clearly wasn't working. This doesn't work either, by the way, but trying a delicate Streisand hand. All right, next, what did I do next? I think it's right there, actually. I was right there. 2 caveats. All right, I read this the other day. I do want to walk through this. So I said this on January 15th, 2019. 2 caveats. A, while I'm trying to write a generic list, I'm running it through a filter of being a Jesus believer as best I can. So what I'm trying to do is evangelize here. It'll make sense in a second. So I'm saying in advance, when you read my statements, I'm confessing in front, I follow Jesus. Or at least I try. Point 2. The third point I'm going to list doesn't say how, but I'm preloading with God's help. 3 years ago, when I'm typing this, I'm thinking, I hope my, more common, frequently hanging out churchy friends see this, because I thought it was kind of cool, but I don't want them to be triggered. So I'm saying, I'm following Jesus as best I can, and when you get to the third point, which I'm going to mention here, the answer is with God's help. So, I make 7 provocative claims. Let me pause before I get started, because I just want to kind of see if people are rolling in. Oh yeah, a couple people are rolling in. We've got some chat. Beep boop. Does that mean you're in Discord? No. Okay, but you can say beep boop in the chat too. And then that was Connect the Dots. And then 8 Drunken Gods says howdy. Howdy to both Connect the Dots and 8 Drunken Gods. Connect the Dots, if you didn't see the top of the show, you may have just running through some old Facebook posts. Time traveling 3 years ago. I'm kind of trying to close the book on Facebook. I should have closed it a long time ago. Why does it say streamer mode is enabled on my Discord? I don't like that. I don't understand that. Anyway. All right, so having said all that, I'm going to make, 3 years ago, 7 provocative claims. No human being was designed to be independent by either God or evolution, whatever you want to say. I'm just making that claim, right? Just claiming it. It's debatable, right? can one man live on an island or be an island? Is an island unto oneself? Like, we're part of a collective. We really are. I hate the John Wayne in me, the rugged individualist American in me doesn't like to say, but if you were, do you remember Grizzly Adams? I'm so old. It was an old TV show. If you lived out in the middle of nowhere by yourself, I'd go insane. I really would. So let's make the claim. No human being was designed to be independent, I say. Then I say, no human being will ever be able to claim to have always existed. Some will. I mean, okay, I got to be friendly here to the Foxhole audience or anywhere. There's, serial reincarnation theories out there. I'm just saying off the table. This is kind of my theological system 3 years ago. Probably the same now. I'm not saying for sure anything that will divide people, but I'm not a big proponent of full-blown reincarnation. Any human being can achieve goodness, graciousness, holiness, impeccability, zealousness, love, sharing, righteousness, and veracity. And if you're curious how, with God's help. That was the preamble. So I'm making the claims. I'm not substantiating them at all. I'm just stringing them along to reach to something. So in other words, we're not supposed to be independent. It's not in the design. We had a beginning. We can improve in these, in goodness, right? We can. We really can. Any human being is embedded in a reality, aka embodied. Again, just a claim. Oh, man, I gotta go ban. Let's get the ban hammer out. Let me go to YouTube. There's some funkiness happen there. Bear with me. I shouldn't have closed the YouTube window. My channel. Let me go to there. Shouldn't have closed the YouTube window. Let me pause that. And now I gotta remember how to hide user on this channel. Okay. User hidden. They're talking about, unclothed various things and probably anyways, deleted. I'm going to take that as a good sign, that there's enough people like paying attention that I'm starting to get at least the first level bots. The normal first level bots. I don't know. I'll take it that way because I want to. All right, so back to the claims. Again, not substantiated, not argued for, just claim. It leads to something. I think. This is a slow post, right? We're not supposed to be independent fully, right? You need people. People need people. We had a beginning. We can improve. We exist in a place like cosmos or embodied. Any human being is learning at all times. Again, just claiming it. So you can improve. You exist in a place or in a mesh network of some sort. You're learning at all times. Any human can reach a permanent cessation of suffering. See above on how. So in other words, if things are, if you really stop and think about it, there's always something, right? There's always something. I think there is. I went to a therapist some 25 years ago, and when I said that, she was like, "Tell me more." Got that pen ready. Say more about this, suffering. And then the final point, any human being can be fully replicated if given enough but finite computing power. So in other words, one human being doesn't require infinite computing power. There's one exception, obviously, Jesus. But other than Jesus, any human being can be fully replicated if given enough but finite computing power. Again, this is 3 years ago. Now, those are the claims. We can debate them. But I say all that to say 5 of the 7 points are pretty much always and always will be true. The 3rd point and the 6th point are a consequence of the original design interface to ultimate reality, which was seamless, the Garden of Eden, paradise, perfection, the original goal. Being married marred and limited by a cataclysm. So there was a fall. So points 3 and 6, which was 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we were designed to have a beginning, 4, 5, 6, and we're always learning all the time. I don't remember why I said that one. So anyway, it need not and one day will not continue this way. The interface is being restored. And then I go back to work. So my point is, you can see that if the universe is a processor, or if existence is information processing, it's totally legit to believe in a heaven, essentially, or in an eschaton, or in a place we're heading towards that's good, right? I don't know. Anyway, I did that 3 years ago. That's part of the show. We're moving on. It's like, I don't know. That's the kind of stuff I used to post sometimes. I don't do it these days. I don't use Facebook anymore. Stupid Facebook. Ruined everything. Gave up. Used to be cool. Never really was really cool, I guess. All right. Then on January 15th at 15 p.m. 3 years ago and some change, I posted this YouTube link.
Writing's not that easy.
Oh. So, 9 flat earthers, 1 quantum physicist, flat earth. I did a lot of posting about flat earth. I did a lot before Q came along. I did a lot of way too much digging into flat earth. Anyway, I don't really want it to be a major focus on 9dNation. It's more of an epistemology for fun and profit Sunday night show thing. But let me play out this ad so I can just scrub through and show you some of what's going on here. If you're globe skeptic, connect the dots, LOL. If you're globe skeptic, then you're going to find this highly enjoyable. So, a quantum physicist, this was on October 11th, 2018, I guess, popped in and hung out with some doofusy, mouth-breathing flat earthers and got the same experience that hardcore physicists always get when they sit down with flat earthers, with advocating flat earthers. They tend to know their stuff. They tend to be ready to talk about phlogiston or atmospheric effects or gravity or Newton's theory of gravity or quantum mechanics or whatever. I mean, they tend to be pretty read up by the time they're sitting down with it because they've been... Anyway, I'm not going to belabor it, but let me put the link in the Foxhole chat. You know, it's just fun. So I'm going to leave it at that. But if you... so my point here... So Caltech, it's a big-ass school, right? It's a super important physics school. PhD sits with 8 skeptics and effectively gives them 3 years of college physics in 2 hours. It was a really good discussion. Not sure why, but I feel like he got them about halfway through natural philosophy. Well done, quantum dude. This is me trying to Streisand. I'm not boldly claiming that the earth is flat on Facebook. I'm just trying to draw attention. Because what you really see when you watch this is respectful debate, and the guy can't shut him down. If I remember right. I haven't watched it in a while. All right, so enough of that. Let's go next to... I'm skipping some stuff. It would take forever to do every post. I posted a lot. National Popcorn Day. Oh, Thursday, January 19 is... I guess National Popcorn Day. I posted on January 16th a link to that link. Who knows why I posted to National Popcorn Day? I know that my friends on the Foxhole, most of them will know. Speaking of which, let's just check the lurkerosity. I think we're stable. Hope I didn't lose too many on that long diatribe about processing power and whatever. I was kind of thinking of like AI and Pinocchio. You know, not Pinocchio, that little robot. If you ever saw the movie. Or the Pinocchio show, like the movie, or the idea. You know, you want to be a real boy. Or Stephen Baxter, which was some science fiction I read. He had some people travel to Pluto or something and died, but got rescued and rebuilt using processing power, like some super advanced aliens that could reconstruct you, it's totally feasible. We don't need to know how God's going to do it, but he's going to do it, right? He says he's going to do it. So anyway, getting a little religious on y'all, on you alls. All right, back to the task at hand. If I can remember what I'm doing. National Popcorn Day. Now we're going to skip about 8 days. 8 days a week. That's a Beatles song. Ooh, those are some hardcore MK Ultra type Illuminati people. I like them, but just saying. All right. Baron Trump's marvelous underground journey was linked to by me with the comment, odd. Old news, but still odd. I'm trying to Streisand my friends in. Let's click on it. Do you remember this? Yeah, boy. For those who know, let's just revel in this for a second. For those who don't, there's some books out there from whoever this publisher was, Ingersoll Lockwood. There's 2 or 3 books. I think it's 2. They pretty much predict the last 4 or 5 years and the next few years, and pretty much claim that Trump was the last president. So now you have to say, well, if that's true, then the current resident is operating from a green screen, essentially, which we all kind of know is pretty much probably true. And did you see Matt Gaetz got loud about nominating Trump for speaker? I've been telling my friends and family that are super close and willing to hear it that whatever they were going to do, I started saying this about a year ago. Whatever they're going to do, they're going to pull it off at the midterms because he doesn't want to face that amendment that says you can't run a third time. He wants to run a third time. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so he'll take those 2 years. If Matt Gaetz, I guarantee he would take that if they nominated him. If you have Trump derangement syndrome, I feel for you. If that happens, I mean, at this point, we know, right? Don't get your hopes up. Don't set dates. Don't do any of that stuff. Let me catch up with chat. 8 Drunken Gods says, Sonicware posted a private Facebook group on Instagram for a new product. Pretty dumb marketing. They assume that's convenient for non-users. Did you know yesterday was 88th Piano Day? So piano has 88 keys. Oh, so it's the 88th day of the year. You're all going to be better at numerology than me. I listened to like T.N. Homesteader and Drunk Pinata and T.N. Drunk 412, and I tell you, T.N. Homesteader is just a great like easy numerology type dude. Like if you ever listen, so I by listening to him, I get more and more better at. But yeah, cool. Piano Day, nice. All right, so enough about Ingersoll Lockwood. If you don't know about Ingersoll Lockwood and you're seeing this replayed somewhere, or you're like, what? Surely no. Check into it and ask a friend. Ask a friend who knows, and you know who knows. I like saying that. All right, next we go to January 24th. Just that same day. Just one post down. I thought about that. Like when they're adjacent, how I should prep for the show better. But this was a day when Sheila Jackson Lee left her post. I don't think she left the house. Oh, man. I had it there. Hang on. Let me rephrase. So, but she did lose some coveted posts. I'm not going to try again. You saw it for a second. So that was something that happened, and I posted about. Let's see. Do I then? Oh, I do. I do talk about the awkward. Let's see what that was. I don't remember. Oh. So I was trying to hide my flat earthness. This is another one. Some flat earthers. I forget his name. He's great. Versus some astrophysicists. This guy gets completely flummoxed by these guys. So, very respectful. Hour and 15 minutes long. I'm going to put this link in the chat too. Just so people have it, so the people have it. Your voice is all 88 musical notes of wonder. One's voice, agreed. I mean, the piano, like the violin and the piano and most instruments are designed around our ears, right? Which is designed around our voice. Like our eyes are designed around the sun, you know, type of thing. MQB, LOL, crew. That's some back and forth between Connect the Dots and 8 Drunken Gods. Love this show. Love that you guys are here. This is fun for me. I don't know why. It's strangely fun. And it's going to be limited in time. You know, we'll finish and then we'll go to Bible study. So somewhere around May, I think. And Facebook will be closed. You know, I'm starting to get I've actually scanned through all of my Facebook that I saved off. And I kind of, from a prep perspective, came to the end. It was a little sad. It reminds me of like, my dad's still with us and he's going through his pictures and you know, all of his stuff and kind of wrapping things up and giving things out. And, you know, I'm not that old, but it feels like the closing of the books, you know. Sometimes you just move on and things stop happening. Anyway, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm babbling incoherently. Let's check the chat. LOL. Yeah, I love LOL. LOL. Kek, right? Kek in meme speak. If you're World of Warcraft and you type LOL, the other faction would see Kek. You ever go down that deep dive where just frogs? You see frogs. We played Shadowley on this channel. I'm going to play it again on one of the Sunday night shows. Anyway. All right. Task at hand. Oh, yeah. So I'm not trying to sell Flat Earth. I'm just being honest about what I posted on Facebook. Anything that catches my eye that I think I should confess before I move away from Facebook, which I already moved away. But Goat Hill Pizza. You know, if you know, you know. And you see Goat Hill Pizza, you're like, that's all kind of bad. Connect the dots. Says, you know, they did studies that a strong, deep male voice people listen to. Connect the dots. Then says, I just call it sexy. I'm starting to get embarrassed a little bit by some of the implications. I don't want to take them personally. Maybe it's just a good microphone. You know, this microphone is part of a very, 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 very cheap set that we got back in what we called Studio Goldfoot, which was in New Jersey, which is where Skelter did its 2 albums and Circus Guy did some tracks. And we'll get into those one day. But this is part of a set, and it's a tom microphone, like a floor tom or a rack tom. And it actually is. It's probably cost me like $30 as part of this. You know, it was in a set of like 7 or 8 microphones, which is a starter kit that we were using to get the studio up and running. And I've held on to it because it's better than a Shure 57 or 58 for me, for my vocals. I have other I brought out the $400 mic, the sort of suspended cardioid, and it's all psychological. Agreed. So I brought out the cardioid and set it up, and it was but you know, here's my main problem is I'm doing this all through a sound card on a desktop computer. And no matter how good the sound goes in, I need noise cancellation to even use it. And I've contemplated how to get around that, but yeah, Shure 57. I think that's how it's spelled. Yeah, 8 Drunken Gods. I used to be in a band for a million years in Austin, Texas, then in New York, and now back and played in Fort Worth. I played in some country bands there. One day I could tell you my musical history, and it's like, you know, grade D, you know, not A list, not B list, not C list, but I think I got up to D list. Yep. Sure 57. But what is this with this Goat Hill Pizza? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing? There's nothing good about that. It's, what did I say? Just doing some Google searching. I was definitely trying to subtly troll and claim something that I was too nervous to fully say, and I don't know what. But, I mean, Goat Hill Pizza. Probably somebody horrible owns it. You could sound like Kermit the Frog. Hi-ho. All right, y'all are doing me solid here, getting me all chatty. All right. So after Goat Hill, I skipped 3 days before anything that I claim is worth talking about, re-talking about. So let's skip down, time travel 3 days. We'll click on this. What is this? Continuing our work to improve. Recommendations on YouTube. Why? We'll begin reducing recommendations of borderline content and content that can misinform users in harmful ways, such as videos promoting a phony miracle cure for a serious illness claiming the earth is flat. Look at the date. They did this on January 28th, or January 25th, 2019. So then I said, my challenge, which is worse, of the two examples I quoted here, snake oil or globe skepticism, which is more harmful to humanity. Okay, so I did not know what they were going to unleash on us in a year. Like, I did not know. A year from then. So they're prepping us for miracle cure, phony miracle cure, like hydroxychloroquine. Can't say it, I'll get banned. I didn't even know that. So I was sitting there going, okay, snake oil. I was actually on board. I was like, okay, YouTube or Facebook or whatever, or YouTube. Sure, you want to ban snake oil stuff. But globe skepticism, what harm does that do? That was my claim then. Now, obviously, I'm like, man, who cares what shape the earth is? Let us take our ivermectin. Just do it, Anyway, so I had some learning to do. Anyway, just how fascinating is that? 13 years ago, when we were doing the Facebook post from 13 years ago, a month or two ago, they were talking about mandatory vaccines to healthcare workers for H1N1 and all this other stuff, and it was just the same news again, right? And then it kind of died out, but here it is again. Like, hey, a year before it happened, I didn't even catch that when I was prepping for the show. Crazy. But you're not allowed to say that the earth is flat either. They'll just ban you. Just gone. You mentioned HCQ or earth being flat, you're done. Or QAnon. You can't say Q. You can say Q. Well, you can't even say Q. You can say Anon, and then the FBI will be all over your butt. You can't say QAnon together. This guy is cool. Rodrigo Ferrari Nunez. I haven't checked in with him in a while. He's an anthropologist, and I was just trying to get people into him. He totally went down the flat earth road and was like, huh, and shared his journey. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful stuff. I don't know where he's at now. I don't know what he's doing, but anyway, just Rodrigo Ferrari Nunez. Brilliant guy. Super brilliant. He discovered flat earth through his anthropology. He just kept finding too much. I mean, flat earth doesn't mean flat earth. It means, in my world, globe skepticism, or just be skeptical about what they tell you. Antarctica, you can't go there. John Kerry can go there the night of Trump's election, but you can't go there. These warring countries, they all sign a treaty over Antarctica, no problem. No problem. Hitler probably went there. I'm super crazy. I'm taking the gloves off of my own craziness. Let's see. I could tell from the sound, I suppose. I studied engineering, crazy deep in acoustical science. Oh. I wonder what you were talking about there. Don't be turtle, the Connected Dot says. You also said kit. Kit. That gave it away. Kit. What did I give away? 8 drunken gods. Or maybe you were talking to each other. Someone said kit. Anyway. Connect the dots. You might realize the Earth is 95% bigger and you're in a pen with walls of ice. Connect the dots. Yes, bird land beyond the ice. Big puddle on a larger Earth. Drinksman. I'm totally comfortable with all of that. I'm going to pitch Snow Globe just as a quick starter. But, yeah. And we can go into that now. Also on Sunday night. Let's just do a couple seconds on that. The question really comes down to how is the sky rendered, or how does light work? By the way, Newton told us how gravity works. Who told us how light works? Does anybody remember? Who wrote optics? Who wrote optics? Around the same time we learned about gravity. Oh, sure, Kit, right. Okay, yeah. Thank you. Thanks, 8 Drunken Gods. I should pay more attention to the chat. I have this. I'm doing this all on one monitor, so I do this alt tabbing thing where I kind of lose the chat for a minute, but that's my bad. All right, so we're going to January 29. I'm destroying my notes as I try to. Oh, I did him already. Okay. Now we're going to January 30. Not too far. Ancient Earth rock found on moon. And my comment was, go science. Connect the Dots says silicon. So let's pause and think for a second. Please let's not make this a flat Earth pitch because I don't want to hit everyone over the head with flat Earth. But you tell me we went to the moon the way they said we went to the moon and there's nothing else about the moon, I'm all over that. So, ancient Earth rock found on the moon. 4 billion year old fragment found in an Apollo sample could be as old as any on Earth. So they're trying to tell you that the astronauts went to the moon and brought back an Earth rock, but that makes sense because of the way the Earth and the moon formed. I mean, it's technically believable. I believed it for 45 years or so. I mean, we could read it. It could be right. It helps paint a better picture of early Earth and the bombardment that modified our planet. Right? So they're saying something hit and knocked a rock all the way to the moon. I guess. Yeah. The answer to who told us how light works is Newton. Newton wrote optics. Newton wrote the gravity books. It's like, well, the way you know how the gravity works is by looking at light effects in the sky. You know, like the relativistic lensing of Mercury around the sun or whatever. You know, it's like if you command how we observe light in the mind, then you command how we see everything, and so you can make us believe in gravity. Kubrick's Tang. Yes. 8 Drunken Gods. Yeah, Kubrick. Man, there's some interesting chats with Stanley Kubrick. All right, let me move along. So science is helping us a lot there, like they always do. I are a scientist, by the way. On a Sunday night show, I might go into some of my scientific accomplishments in life. I have a few. Not a lot, but a few. So on whatever date this was, February 2019, so 3 years ago, China agreed to buy 5 million tons of U.S. soybeans after talks in Washington. So this is back when China was like, oh, you got us on the ropes, Trump. Oh, we're totally going to buy a pittance of food from you. And then they're like, but from your Chapel Hill, North Carolina, deep state labs you've already given us your undoing. We'll go play with it in Wuhan. It came from Chapel Hill before it went to Wuhan. I'm just saying. Then it went to Ukraine, right? We know. And if you don't know, ask a friend, because they know. Kathy Tran of Virginia. Check out that name. I didn't even catch that the first time. A couple bills passed last month. So this is in Virginia. Fall cankerworm spraying prohibited during certain months. Okay, all right, good work. Abortion. Eliminate certain requirements. Now the devil, I said, is in the details, of course, just providing an aggregation here. I don't remember why I put the two together. Just anyway, I've been very anti-abortion pretty much my whole conscious life. It's the common sense approach, I would think. Quantum locking of the moon superconductor in the cold. Interesting. Drinksman. I never even thought about that. So you're pointing out that there's a lot of empty space between here and the moon? Is that kind of, and then therefore you can get some of the low temperature effects? I think that's super genius. Why did no one else? Dude, write a paper. Magnet down a copper tube. I've never dropped a magnet down a copper tube. Nice. Good call, my man. Or, well, drinks man. Drink my drinks man. All right, let me run to February 1, a little later in the day. It's like, it almost reads like one of those jokes, like, ever gone camping and wake up with your pants around your ankles and you got Vaseline everywhere? It's like, ever dropped a magnet down a copper tube? Polar Star explained. Like, it kind of sounds like one of those setups. Sorry, I got a little dark, or a little, not dark, a little blue. All right, CNN, Ralph Northam, third trimester abortion. The infant would be delivered. Oh, let me click on the link. I mean, this is a depressing topic. It's horrible, but it's got to be talked about. Virginia governor faces backlash over comments supporting late-term abortion bill. Remember, this is the prior Virginia governor, not the current one, I don't think. So he says the infant would be delivered, the infant would be kept comfortable, the infant would be resuscitated if that's what the mother and the family desired. And then a discussion would ensue between the physicians and the mother. I mean, come on. Come on. I have no word. I forgot that happened. Even when I was doing my show prep, I just kind of cut paste. I'm not letting it in to break my heart because I've had just a terrible couple months of just super busy work and some health issues and stuff. It's getting better. Well, not the work, but the health issues. But like, I mean, my brain is just going, nope, that guy's evil. But if you let it in a little, it breaks your heart, man. Like it's, I think I skipped this next one. It looks all fancy, but it's stupid. I went to Snopes, Minnesota House hopeful calls marriage fraud claims lies. And this is none other than Ilhan Omar. In the article, it says a Minnesota Democratic candidate for Congress who is poised to become the first Somali American elected to the U.S. House has denounced claims that she married her brother and committed immigration fraud. Okay. Now, why is this news today? It's not. I'm just going through my Facebook post, right? We're time traveling. Traveling through time. Closing the book on Facebook. Closing the face on Bookface. February 1, 2019, 3:18:08 p.m. New Q. Boom. Always a great time. Always a great time. All right. Then I went to just 2 links down. Click on this. Oh, let me hit escape a few times. Excerpts from Trump's interview with the New York Times. And it's got a little video link there. So then I said on Facebook, I've heard some say this is a troll where he says teed up, referencing the Podesta email about Haberman teeing up stories. Maybe. If so, that's a little mean, maybe. Why would I say that was mean? Oh, did Maggie Haberman died, right? So I'm Streisanding, I guess. So, I mean, that's not one of the best Q proofs, like teed up, or Trump proofs, or whatever, or Trump dog whistles, or whatever. But it's not bad, right? There's so many good ones, right? You don't need more. There's so many out there. Let me scan for lurkerosity. Oh, we're cranking it up a bit. So, if you're just joining, this is 9dNation, the nation with no denomination. And we're in season 1. There will be 2 seasons. Season 1 is just Facebook posts that I pulled out over the 13 years, running through, going to close the book. Then we're going to go to Bible study in about a month. So this is Wednesday night show, 11 o'clock, and that's kind of the plan. All right, continuing on. If you do call in, ever, for any reason, on any of the shows, just go bloop, or bleep, or hi, I'm a Russian bot, because I won't hear this. For some reason, it just will not play me the incoming signal. All right, Drinksman. Drop a magnet Down a copper tube. Let's just Google that, because you're plaguing me. It's like staring at me. Drop. Magnet. Down copper tube. You're talking about some serious electromagnetic dynamic stuff there, because you're moving it through. You're going to generate. What happens when a magnet is dropped through a coil? Voltage is produced. That's a coil, though. Copper tube. Lenz's law. I should know this. I have 2 degrees in physics, but I'm old. Eddy currents, right? Some fellow named Lenz discovered eddy. Hi, Eddie. My name is Lenz. I think Eddie would discover a lens more than Lenz would discover an eddy. Does it just float? I forget. Let's see what it says. How can a copper pipe interact with a magnet? Results. It slows down. The magnet will also slide down the cookie sheet slowly, nudge the metal washer. Why? Okay, so it's like drag, right? It's kind of like a... Do you ever do Ken Wheeler? Ken Wheeler. Theoria apophasis. Really likes to talk about everything in terms of dielectric and magnetism. It's fantastic. All right, I will move on. Thank you for that. And I do remember that now. I didn't remember it then. I'm old. All right, so what am I saying here on Facebook? Oh, that's a troll. Okay, next. We go down just a bit. 4 million views. Philip is absolutely baffled by the men who believes the earth is flat. This is, let's see what show. So this is, I think, a British TV show. Now, fortunately, let me go to theater mode. Fortunately, we've got YouTube telling us what Wikipedia says. It's an archaic and scientifically disproven concept of the Earth's shape as a plane or disk. Yeah, no, that's totally. So this is a 7-minute clip, and at the time, it had 4 million views on Facebook. It's now got 7.5. Just saying. All right. His name was Seth ... I posted that on February 1, 2019. Playing with fire there, G. Ross. Playing with fire. Man. Seth, he did us a favor, you know. He got us kickstarted. That's another sad thing. That's a couple sad topics tonight. Now, this is interesting, because I don't know if I was... Okay, so 8 Drunken Gods. Magnetic vacuum. Yeah, like a friction effect. I mean, so the magnet's going down, and the tube is going to start rolling. It's not a static effect, right? It's a dynamic. It has to start. And so there is a kind of a... yeah. I mean, it's going to generate some heat, right? Like, as all the currents in everything, they're not going to be completely unheat generating. So there's like a friction-ish type thing, some kind of drag. We're going to lose energy out of the system, right? Because nothing's free except for 0-point energy and anything Nikola Tesla taught us. But yeah. So El Chapo had a submarine. Did you know that? He had a cocaine submarine. I didn't know he had a submarine until February 1st, 2019. Now, knowing what we know now, and I don't think I was thinking of this then. Maybe I was. Who else do you know that's a submarine pilot that's famous in the news? That doesn't come up very often. All right, then I talked about football a little. There's my kid with a couple of... It's funny. Choco roll. The point is not to... Gudetama. Love Gudetama. All right, let me just skip, because we don't need to be looking at every one of my posts. I mean, they're public, right? You can see them anytime you want. Pointer. Fact-checking. Snopes pulls out of its fact-checking job. Remember they were found out to be... Yeah, so Facebook boots Snopes out. Here's the thing, it's a multi-headed hydra. You cut off one head, and then there's a million George Soros heads to take its place. But I just brought this up on Facebook just to say, hey, Snopes, not always the be-all and end-all. Why would Facebook kick out Snopes? Just trying to, rabble-rouse back in the day. Then we go to Feb 3rd. Human trafficking. Gigantic problem, I said. Let's look at the article. So this is 3 years ago. Drinksman says, or you're on the magnet. The light at the end of the tube is the polar star. So we're traveling. So I'm kind of more of a fan of the luminiferous ether. So if we're traveling through it, or if it sweeps around us or something, again, I go kind of snow globe, but we can do giant ball Earth, no problem. Do you remember the old "For the World is Hollow and I've Touched the Sky" episode of? Why is this not going here? This link was live the other day, I think, or maybe it's a dead link. Let me check my notes. Okay, it seems to not be loading, but I was babbling on Facebook about human trafficking being a problem. Okay, 3 years ago. All right. And then this is a little goofy. So in Lubbock talks about Susan Sarandon expanding her ping pong empire to LA. Do you remember this? So Susan Sarandon, look at her career. If you don't spot the, CIA, glowy, MK Ultra, Hollywood, look at what she was in and used for. I've enjoyed the movies, but I shouldn't have, and I take it back, right? She's been in some stuff. So I said, maybe this can take off like a comet. Comet ping pong. Anyway. If you don't know why I would have made that pun, ask me or a friend. People. I should check my traffic on this for YouTube and see if people actually watch this later. But anyway, we're just going through time, living through the old times, back when we didn't know what was going to happen in a year from now. Like, this is February 5, 2019. COVID wasn't even in the news yet. It was about 10 months away, 9 months away. So then I linked to inside the White House Bible study group. I asked Enrique Alvarado on my, he was gracious enough to come onto the show. I asked him about pins. Go watch the show. He says, verdict's still out. I'm with that. I'm totally, you can't, we're watching a movie, right? But there's a Bible study going on, and I just posted to it on my Facebook, just to be pro-God, you know what I'm saying? Could always use a little bit of pro-Jesus. Are they Jesus followers in the White House back in the 2019? I don't know for sure. There was a couple of indications that it might be a little different than my exact religion, but it seems pretty close. So then on February 2019, Flat Earth Rising. Meet the people casting aside 2,500 years of science. You freaks, who dares question 2,500 years of science? Are they saying that Eratosthenes proved it? He didn't prove nothing. I'm just looking at the date there. So I said, why is the Guardian feeding this? I was trying to be Streisand-y, meaning Streisand effect. Ooh, check this out. Who remembers this? Gina Haspel wearing white hats. Just saying. Now, whatever Gina Haspel did, and whatever all the white hats did, we still had to go through the last 3 years. 2 years. How long has COVID been eating our face? 2 years, I guess. 2 years. No. This was, COVID was about to hit. So almost 3 years. Yeah, 3 years. COVID's been eating our, wait, hang on. I'm getting daft. The election year was 2020. Yeah, so 2 years. I am tired. All right, so Gina Haspel. If you don't remember why we would care about Gina Haspel, if you're not sure why we would care that she wore white hats, that means you're in the percentage of people who are not super indoctrinated or inducted into awareness of QAnon or Q. There is no QAnon. There's only Q in the Anons. But ask. We're friendly. We're friendly. We're a friendly crowd. I'm just totally outing myself after this many episodes, right? Let me scan the lurkageness to see if I have to update. As one or two people have come in. Just running through some old... We're time traveling through Facebook. Time traveling. 3 years. We're back 3 years now. All right, back to Facebook. Book of Face. I feel like... Oh, I unhid? No, that's the wrong move. Checking out my YouTube here. Hide user on this channel. I accidentally hit unhid. Sorry, I did that wrong on YouTube. All right, back to the task at hand. Drunken God says it's similar to aerodynamics, but with magnetism, and its slow descent is similar to lift, but in the shape of a torus. Now you're talking Ken Wheeler's language. So, 8 Drunken Gods, does aerodynamics work the way they say, or is there also a metal skin effect, or is it both that keeps an airplane in the air? And is it true that they don't use as much fuel as they say? I mean, I haven't figured that out yet. All right. Task at hand, going back. So I think most of us in this chat were talking about this Antarctic ice wall. This part we agree with, right? Like there's this Antarctic ice wall. And I said on Facebook, message me here or private. I would love to explore this further with anyone. They're trying to say that it's a thing about global warming because they have to tell you, but they try to hide it. What is this giant artificial ice wall? They even say it. A giant artificial wall propped up under Antarctica's ice sheets. Why would they say it that way? A giant artificial wall. Wasn't she the Queen of Diamonds? Just little Q just popped a Q of spades. Gina Haspel in the Patriot deck. I don't remember, but good catch, great catch. I'm sure you're right. Like that sounds right. I just don't actually remember because I'm getting old. Sorry. People tell me to stop saying that because they're like, I'm the same old as you and I don't feel old. I'm like, okay, you're not paying attention. I worked out pretty hard today, so I'm kind of tired. All right. Did that already. Now we're going a few hours. One post next. Oh, did that one already. Okay, cool. Now we're going to jump 4 days. I really want to, ram through this fast, right? Because I kind of want to get to the Bible study, but I want to do this too. All right. I said education camps faltering. Again, trying to Streisand to reverse psychology. That's really what Streisand effect is, right? Reverse psychology. Okay. Do people really think Earth might be flat? A poll says lots of millennials evidently do, and it's not entirely clear why. I don't know, maybe because when you walk around on Earth, it looks and appears flat. And somebody walks up to you and says, no, the Earth is a spinning ball hurtling through space. And then you say, well, that's kind of a big claim. You got to prove that. And they go, no. There's a globe in every kindergarten room. You've been indoctrinated. You already believe that. Oh, yeah. I love going through 3 years ago, flat earth propaganda from me. It fires me up, clearly. Then I said, oh, okay, wait, I'm going to hide it. So at this point, if you've been on the journey with me, partially or even fully, you know that I'm very pro-Q and rather flat earth at this point, 3 years ago. And you're starting to think, isn't this about when they did the Q chat and he said, hey, Q, is the earth flat? And he said, no, consider the vastness of space or something like that. I was so heartbroken that day. My two favorite conspiracy theories collided in a cataclysm of doom. Q is too enamored of the spinning ball, I said, and I couldn't even spell his name right. Him, them, the white hats, the team. Well, disinformation is necessary so I can hang on to my belief that Q really knows the earth is flat. Or I can just look at that post over and over again and go, how dare you, Q? I'll never follow you again. I did not do that. I wanted to. Damn you, Q. Damn you, Q. It is still considered a mystery, 8 Drunken God says. Indeed. Lift is actually the plane wanting to move. Yeah, like kind of this way. And then gravity kind of, the more it goes up, the more it kind of corrects back or something. Like it's like, I think that's what you're saying. That's awesome. Great point, 8 Drunken Gods. Talking about the plane, the lift on an airplane. Remember when Q broke my flat earth bubble? I never could. I couldn't drop Q over flat earth. What could I do? Collision of doom. Yes, it wasn't that bad. I'm hamming it up. All right. Now, this I kind of find interesting. I said on February 18th, 2019, I just arbitrarily linked to Fireside Chats. Now, why would I do that? So, I figure at my age, and I had a good classical American middle, rural East Texas, 1970s grammar school education. I knew what a Fireside Chat was. So I went and just looked for it and linked it. Because what I'm trying to say is, you'll bend over, not you, certain people will bend over backwards and go, oh, that FDR, he was genius. He did Fireside Chats to help get us through the Great Depression, help get us through World War II, and blah, blah, blah. Where in reality, what he's doing is mind control. When Trump does Fireside Chats, which is Q posts, he can't talk directly to the people because they'll kill him. I mean, they'll politically crucify him in the news. So he had to do basically leaflets in a speakeasy is what I called the Q posts. It'd be like you're in Prohibition, you hang out in a speakeasy, there's organized resistance, and there's somebody on the inside, somebody talking to the big guy. And the person is vetted and validated and uses like a trip code, uses a validation stamp or something, and you get the leaflets. You know where to wait for the drop. That's essentially what it was like, right? Anyway, that's his Fireside Chats. That was Trump's Fireside Chats. Oh, actually, I was probably meaning Twitter was. Actually, I probably wasn't meaning Q. I'm sorry. I'm being ridiculous. Trump's Twitter was essentially FDR's Fireside Chats. That's my point. I'm sorry. But his underground was Q. The tweets and the Q worked hand in hand, as you know. So kind of was right on both. But anyway, sorry. I'm just like, ugh, what a life we've all had, right? If you're not like an overused X-ray film by now, you're not paying attention. We're all like, I'm just talking to the metaphorical person that's out there. There's a little bit of a, I don't know. Let me check the lurkage and see if am I on tonight or am I way off? Usually we get here in a bit, a few more, because some shows start to kind of close down, and that's why I tend to go 2 hours. You can make a toy tube flyer, demonstrate the same principle. Oh, yeah. Spins backward as climb. The Magnus effect, right? There's some guys in Australia that throw things off dams, like really tall, 200-yard tall dams, and they spin them, and they go whoosh, and they go like a basketball. I like the airplane that's a round circle, and you can do it as a complete tube or with like the two little sort of from a notebook paper. Anyway. Oh yeah. I don't usually mention the lurker count, but we're right at 17 on Foxhole. Always a good moment. Let's check OBS and see if anyone... Yeah, not so much the YouTube. Not a lot. Not a lot at all. Maybe like 0. But that's okay. That's okay. A wing. Ooh, interesting 8 drunken gods. A wing is the top arc of the tube closed off at the bottom. Yeah. Right. Got you. So you're talking about the tube going this way. You just go boop, and it goes shh. And you're just like, take off the bottom, and now it's going to have lift. So simple. Why you do this to me? Why you take 6 years of physics study and make it like I could have got it off the back of a napkin? No, good job. I love it. I love it. All right, so then we're going to February 19th. Donald Trump status. Oh, so the status you can't read anymore. So I said, if not true, this would be rather reckless. So no middle ground available, either off the rails or has an ace. And that was a lot of his Twitters. You can't look at it up now. I'm sure I could go find it. But the point is, on February 19th, 2019, I'm saying Donald Trump is either completely unhinged, which we know that's not the answer, or knows something. Now, I guess you have to, our Dr. D style, say, no, maybe neither. Maybe he just is a opportunistic politician, burned some bridges, used us up like, used us Q freaks like a bunch of Q freaks and threw us away. That'd be the black pill route, I guess. I don't know. I'm not giving up. As Craig Mason asked last Friday, are you optimistic? And I said, yes. I said, yes, I am, to him, because I called in his show. I love calling in his show. DC Panic 17, catch you up. All right. We're reading, DC Panic 17, what we're reading is, so season 1 of 9dNation, which is the Wednesday night show, is going through 13 years of Facebook just to kind of close it off. I never got what I wanted on Facebook, which was to wake people up. At least I never knowingly got a lot of that. I got some people close. Like one guy goes, I heard of this Q, but I don't have Twitter. And I'm like, no, private message me. That's the closest I ever got to kind of waking someone up just through Facebook. So anyway, I'm running through my Facebooks, closing the books on it. I think we're about 2/3 of the way done, 3/4 of the way done. Got another 3 or 4 weeks. Then I'm going to switch to a Bible study on Wednesday nights. But we'll have plenty of warning of when that's coming as I get closer. I'm filtering my... Oh, DC Panic, you heard the call. Let's see, I mentioned... So I kind of botched the point, but what I mentioned on the call was, some globalists over at BlackRock were like, oh man, globalism's really taking a punch with this Ukraine war. And then I'm like... And then my kid, when I said that on the Friday show, he goes... Globalism would have taken a similar punch under that logic by World War I and II. And I'm like, yes, but we know that World War I and II bolstered globalism. Therefore, when BlackRock is saying Russia-Ukraine war is hurting globalism, I now am very skeptical. That was kind of the point I was trying to make. But anyway. So yeah, DC Panic, maybe after a couple of these posts, you'll kind of get the vibe. I'm not showing every single Facebook post. That would take too long. It's already taking too long. I'm just showing ones that might be worth mentioning from a Foxhole or really QAnon and Flat Earth are my 2 bags. So then I go to the next day. Pope signs declaration saying... Oh, it's not there anymore. I promise it was there. God wills religions pluralism. What does this mean? So then I said, this article claims to square the statements signed by the Pope, including diversity of religions willed by God with the Second Vatican's Council. Salvation can be obtained through the Catholic Church alone. Can't have it both ways, bro. Now, he wasn't speaking ex cathedra probably, but you literally can't have it both ways, Anyway, 3 years ago, that guy running around, he was running around doing just bad things. Anyway, I'm not a practicing Catholic. I'm not a Catholic in any way, shape, or form. I've been to Catholic church a few times. I've got lots of family members that are Catholic, so I don't know a lot about it. I'm just saying that if the Vatican II says salvation can be obtained through the Catholic Church alone, and the Pope was running around 3 years ago saying division of religion is willed by God. I mean, I can see in those two quotes I have a hole in my argument already. You can have another religion willed by... technically it's right, actually. There's God's moral will and God's decreed will. So I do preach that. So I take it back. Could be. But please don't be ecumenical. You should know what you believe and why. And you should wrestle with that. And if you come across somebody who believes different, you should be curious about that. And politely arm wrestle about that. Politely. To within what tolerance you both agree. I don't know. Then I said on February 20th, Anons already knew. I don't know what I was talking about, but Anons already knew. 8 Drunken Gods is, we were talking about lift on a wing. The tail wing also wants to climb, keeping the plane from flipping over, right? DC Panic 17 says, I like Catholic women. Lord, I apologize for that. I'm going to leave it there. I have way too much prior knowledge to understand some things you might mean. I'm not going to bite on that. There's a couple of different things I'm thinking now suddenly that I shouldn't be thinking. I apologize for that also. Why? I'm weak. There is no tea in pizza. 8 Drunken Gods mentions the rest is flaps down. So when you take the flaps down, I mean, I was always told that was so that the stall speed was way lower, right? So you could go 60 miles an hour on a Cessna 172 and not drop out from the sky or something. Side note, I shouldn't tell those stories in public. Never mind. I have some Cessna stories. Those will stay non-public. Let's just say, no. I've seen, okay, I can say this part. I've watched someone take a single wing, whatever the Cessna is. I can't remember if it was definitely a Cessna, but it was a, whatever that's called, with the struts that hold the wing above. You're not supposed to do a barrel roll on those. I've been in a different airplane, and I saw out of my view my friend do the barrel roll where he climbed upside down, so that he wouldn't bust the wing and come back. And from that moment on, I was like, I'm never getting in an airplane with that dude. That freaked me out because it's supposed to be very dangerous. All right, so then on, mouse glitch. There's no tea in pizza. I don't remember exactly what that was about. You have some Piper stories. Okay, so DC Panic 17. When I was about 9 or something, my dad takes me, I want to say in a Piper. And he takes me up and he goes, son, we're going to do a chandelle. And I'm like, what's a chandelle, Dad? Oh, this is scary as hell. Because, you go up and then you're like, you kind of come down and then you have to kind of catch yeah, and he was like way high altitude. And I'm like, I think that's a chandelle. Anyway, sorry if I blew out the mic. So then I said on February 22, who said 2 days ago that the Super Bowl was like a puppy show? That was a Q-ism that Trump vaguely repeated. I want to say that was a Q-proof. I don't remember the details. My memory says that was probably a Q-proof. Otherwise, why would I have posted it on Facebook? There are so many Q-proofs. If anybody in my voice, recorded or otherwise, is going, oh, you QAnon conspiracy theorists, please, you know me. Otherwise, you wouldn't be hearing this. You know me in some fashion. Ask. We won't bite your head off. We really won't. I'm going to play this. This is a recording. I was just sitting there. Let's do this. Let me turn the music down. This is about 3 years ago. And this happens in stadiums all over the place. And you've all heard it. So I'll just let it play uncommented at first. I love that the school did that. This was about 3 years ago. My kid was in second grade or something. I don't know. What I think, so in case it's a little blurry or whatever and the audio is not that great, they're just showing like all the presidents to the song America the Beautiful or America, America, America. Anyway, they get to, and you know, the kids this age, they're going to be boring. We're waving our flag. We're doing what the teacher tells us. But when they get to Obama, the audience, which is kids, a couple adults, you know, a few parents, obviously the kids are going to go, oh, I recognize, you know, and they're going to have their reaction. And it sounded mostly positive. Then it gets to Trump. And what I thought I heard, I'm going to play it again in a second. What I thought I heard was at first a louder, you know, because he was the current president. So of course that would make sense. Somewhat favorable. And then some boos came in. It's like, this is what happens like in sports stadiums and stuff. You can like kind of hear it the way you want, right? Anyway, let's just play that second half again. Or about to hear. Okay, get ready. I don't know if that was the plan, but look how fast they made those kids sit back down. End of show. It was, you know, they're like, we're going to have a riot in the school. Ooh, Trumpus. All right. Let's check out the chats. DC Panic 17. It's all on my Facebook too. DC Panic 17 says, we have left history for everyone. Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to get banned, right? And so I got shadow banned, but at least it's there. Use Gab until Truth Social. So and by the way, I thought I gave up on Facebook. What I discovered is I was very active until 3 months ago, which is weird. That's not what I remembered. A Drunken God says, I was on the wrong airstrip and my bro had to do an emergency slip where you jackknife the plane temporarily to drop altitude sideways. Yeah, I've never done that. I'm not a pilot. I don't know if I know how to do. Yeah. I don't think I've ever had that done when I was. I've held the stick a bunch of times. I've taken an airplane off. I've flown it. I just haven't landed one. I've almost, like that's where you find out if you have any training, right? And if you know what you're doing. But I've always had a capable, trained, legal, teach capable pilot with me. But what you're talking about, yeah, I know of the maneuver, but I haven't done it. There's one time where my dad was trying to get home and the airplane's lights weren't working and it was evening. And so he had his dad get in the car and drive ahead as headlights to the side and just be the safety headlights so he could get, because you didn't have to have, it was a little tiny airstrip. One of my favorite things was to land at the Red River where McGeehee's catfish joint is, a little dirt strip there. That's so fun. I haven't done that in a while. I got to get that going again. I hang out with way too many pilots. Let's see what was next. Here on Facebook, I said, as you can see, should have spelled it Krampus with a Q. Like Krampus, trying to make it, whatever. What is more legalistic than scientism? What is more licentious than revolution? I don't know what my point there was. Scientific revolution? I don't know. Then I said on February 24th, shall we demand Netflix censor their Behind the Curve documentary for giving too much airtime to Flat Earth? This is my cheap, horrible reverse psychology Streisand effect attempt. I sucked back then. That was so dumb. I shouldn't say I sucked back then. That was just too blatant and too dumb. It was clumsy. Let me just say it that way. I don't know why I disparaged myself so hard just then. All right. I don't even remember posting this 3 years ago, but there's a correlation between the plane of the solar system and the cosmic background radiation that appears to give Earth a greater significance than might be expected by chance. So it departs from the Copernican principle. And then it's debated here in the article. The axis of evil. I was probably linking this because of Flat Earth. Side story. Do you remember when Bush 40... I know I just did an Illuminati signal there. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Bush 40, whatever, W, gets up on the TV and greets the United Nations on about September 12th, 2002, and says, by the way, we're going to name North Korea and Syria as the axis of evil. DC Panic says, 17, says, I landed one once. I bounced it pretty good. My dad got out and checked it. Felt fine to me. Cherokee 6, you were 15 years old. Nice. That's awesome. So you remember, you're like, Kong, and Dad's like, that's a $400,000 plane that you just might have broke. You know, it's like, well, you gave me the wheel. You gave me the yoke. Yeah, I've never landed an airplane. I will tell you this, if it was a Cessna 152 or a Cessna 172, I've spent enough time in those, I would attempt it. I mean, I would attempt it in an airplane if I was the only person on the airplane. I would try to land, right? Obviously. But I think I might. Man, it's been a while. Anyway, yeah. So, funny story. I was in Syria for 2 weeks in 2002, the week before and the week after the anniversary of, and this was a year after 9/11. I was in Syria. I was in Damascus. I was in the hotel room. I was walking out, and I had CNN on, and I was about to go do a public appearance, and I heard Bush say, oh, and by the way, it was a clip. I don't think it was live. Maybe. Who knows? By the way, North Korea, I'm gonna name the countries that are in the axis. I think Yemen might have been there. The axis of evil. Mind you, I'm in Syria, a police state, and I'm like, I'm walking out the door. I've got my jacket, and he's like, North Korea, and I'm like, okay, and Syria, and I'm like, oh, and it was. Things got a little awkward. We overcame, but man. The trip changed a little because we were doing public speakings and public appearances and stuff, and it was like, more protests started and all this other stuff. I have more stories about the protests. This is just a cool gauntlet mug for, I don't use it a lot because you have to hand wash it because of the gems and stuff, but how cool is that? I ended up buying it. This was the picture showing, hey, honey, can I buy this? All right, then we go to, who is Michael Anton, I asked. Do you remember who Michael Anton is? I looked it up the other day and now I've already forgotten. Anton. Conservative, something or other, Hillsdale, unprecedented, criteria, America. The populist nationalist on Trump's national security, actively courts controversy. Some cool right-winger, I guess. I don't know. All right, well, I don't know why I added that to this show. I must have found something and then forgot to write it down that made it more profound. I don't know. Cook County Board permanently dismantles gang database. Oh, yeah, we don't need that. Why would you want to keep a criminal database? I mean, honestly, I'm a libertarian, sort of, so I'd like less databases on people. Maybe take away the databases on the innocent people first, you know. Do both. I'm going to skip. I wanted to save some time, so I'm skipping some Bible posts. We're going to deep dive into the Bible starting on Wednesdays in about a month on this show. That's the plan. God willing, right? In the book of James, he's like, you say you're going to do this, and you say you're going to do that. You should say God willing, because it's him that decides, basically. Oh, I did want to, okay, let's see what 2 Corinthians 4 through 10, or 4:10. These days I've been, always carrying in the body the death of Jesus so that the life of Jesus may be also manifested in our bodies. That's a great, why not share that today? I did. God's holy word, the word of the Lord. I can't wait till we get into Bible study on Wednesday nights. It's going to be so fun. It's 11 o'clock. I don't think that'll step on white hat. I'll check the times again to make sure. Okay. Scientific article, so you know you can trust it. It comes from lab coats. It's totally true. The outermost part of our planet's atmosphere extends well beyond the lunar orbit, almost twice the distance of the moon. So, I said on Facebook, I told you the moon was in the Earth's atmosphere. See, they have to tell you. They have to tell you. Now, when you're bizarre mouth-breathing, drooling flat Earth friend says, "Did you know the Earth is inside the firmament and therefore is inside the atmosphere, so it can't be like you say space is?" So then your friend who listens to your flat Earth conspiracies goes, they get this article and they go, "Oh, that's the explanation. See, there's always an explanation." I'm not saying the Earth's not a spinning ball hurtling through space. I'm saying I'm skeptical. Very skeptical. Let's check the chat. G. Ross. Some flat Earth education, teachable. Haven't taken the time to dive in. Masons are my thing. Yeah. Is that the hide your wife and kids guy? Hide your wife, hide your kids. Was I kind of imitating the hide your wife, hide your kids guy? Hide your wife, hide your kids. Because what does he say? He said something like he'd be raping all the women out here or something like that. DC Panic. Yeah, we can dig into that a little bit. I mean, to me, it all started. I'll do a brief thing here, and we could do a whole like Q&A session on the Sunday night show, or even on this show, you know. But like 7 years ago, my buddy Don said, "Hey, you're a physicist, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I've got some training, got a couple degrees, published some papers, worked at Columbia University. Yeah, you could call me a physicist. Not top notch, but you know, I got some background." He's like, yeah. And he started asking me just these simple questions. "Yeah, the Earth is a spinning ball hurtling through space, right? Yeah. How do we know that?" I'm like, "Well, Don, you see, we can see the moon, and we can see that it rises, and we can measure, you know, look at a shadow like Eratosthenes did, and blah blah." And he's like, "Yeah, that's great. Eratosthenes. How did that prove the shape of the Earth versus it might have just been measuring the distance to the sun from a flat Earth?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, okay, yeah, but," and then I would, I guess of the guy you searched, 8 Drunken Gods. Yeah, Michael Anton. "Hide your wife, hide your kids." Yeah, probably. So then he asked the next question, and I kept going home, and I was like, so I came back to him a couple weeks later after like several, because we were working out on the mat all the time. So I saw him almost every day. I was like, "Okay, I got a proof for you. The moon does what's called libration or something like that, where it kind of, over time, if you took a camera picture in the same position every night, it does this as it goes around the Earth. That's because the momentum is greater, you know, when it's closer, and then it does that." And he's like, "Okay, I'll grant you that it does that, but that just proves that the moon is like a bottle cap doing that as it goes around." And I'm like, "Yeah, you're right. It's not proof." And so I just kept digging and digging and digging and digging. And I went through cognitive dissonance. And let me tell you, it's not easy. For me, it wasn't. So anyway, that's like a kickstart thing. Rob Skiba, he's passed away now, unfortunately. Rob Skiba, Jeranism, Owen Benjamin went flat for a while. Kind of, it's not his bag, but he went through the journey. Just trying to think of some names. Jeranism, Wakey. He may have teetered back and forth, which I don't blame anyone for teetering back and forth. I did briefly. I'm like, I got to go back to Globe. It's just I had, and then but I couldn't stay there once I had. So anyway, I'll leave it at that for now. But DC Panic 17, say more, and I'll dig in. But that's kind of a Kickstarter. I mean, okay, let me add this. Now, thanks to Donald Hoffman, I actually think both models are possible, and we live in an interface, and both are legit. I know that sounds crazy. I'm the craziest dude in the room. I believe in both. I think the Tower of Babel could have been, like, God comes along. So Elohim or Ohio or Yahweh comes along and sees, oh, look at those pesky humans building their tower to heaven. And then he says, if I don't scatter them and kind of monkey with them, they're going to achieve this crazy stuff. So humans are powerful. And if we work in concert, we're very powerful. And if they've taught us to all believe the earth is a spinning ball hurtling through space, maybe it becomes that. And if we stop believing that, maybe it goes back to its more natural state, which is probably a snow globe. Anyway, I'll leave it at that for now. I'm not closing the book on it. Oh, we were talking about Gab a minute ago. Somebody said, who was it? DC Panic 17, Gab until Truth Social. Oh, quickly, live. Let me check and see if I'm not going to buy a Mac just for Trump. See, still grayed out. Leaving me in the cold there, Trumpy Trump. I gave you the best years of my life. But I got a Gab. And I said so on Facebook on March 1, 2019. A Drunken God says, I heard because of happenings, you can see movement on the moon. Really? With a hobby scope. Interesting. We've seen a lot of really interesting stuff on the moon over the years. As optics get better and better, and you can afford better and better. So I taught astronomy lab, not the full class, at a university here in Texas for a few years, as a grad student for a couple years. I was the indoor lab guy. I taught at a planetarium. So, technically, I taught the classic old school model. I just can't subscribe to it fully with all my heart. I would like to. I really would. Nobody wants to be a flat earther. It is not fun. Anyway, so I got a Gab on March 1st, 2019. And then this was really cool. CNET says, Gab wants to add a comment section to everything on the internet. That's a genius, thing to threaten, if nothing else. Like, y'all be honest, or we're going to scoop in and free market your butt. I don't know how well it's been working, but what a great idea to have that in the wings, just ready to scoop up free speech that nobody else wants to, do. Foxhole is where I get my free speech. Oh, it's so beautiful. Plug for the Foxhole. Speaking of which, let me check the Lurkosity, see how we're doing. Orbital Craft, that was Juan or Gene, probably Gene. 107? Gene, I know the voice and the face. I just can't remember the last name. Was that loud, me knocking on the table? Hope not. The microphone is isolated somewhat. All right. Let's go back to OBS. Okay, looking around, scanning, getting my bearings back. Uh-oh, it's popping again, I said on Facebook in March 1st of 2019. Let's see what I meant. It's popping. Oh, flat Earth. This is the flat Earth curve. So whenever something interesting would happen, it would go poing, poing. That's if you trust Google, which of course nobody should ever do. I really need to learn how to use my interface here. Okay. Then I went to same day, not very long after, one post after. Republicans, climate change, force climate related. Okay, yeah, this is maybe not too exciting, but they cancel climate related hearing after 2 Democrats show up. Good for you, Republicans. I don't know if that's all that newsworthy these days. You be the judge. I probably should have cut that one from tonight's show. What's going on with this YouTube Chuck E. Cheese 183269? Do you guys remember this? Guys, gals? And other? There's no other, but, I'm inclusive. What's going on with this YouTube Chuck E. Cheese conspiracy theory? All right, so in order to confuse the search engine results, you have to come up with a pizza conspiracy theory to distract people. So here it is. It's probably legit. If you put together all the slices, you don't get a circular pie. Therefore, they're probably using yesterday's pies. I can't even find a picture in this stupid article. I think it was something like that. Do you recycle pizza, yes or no? Come on. Here we go. Obviously, that's a recycled pizza. Anyway, clearly, noise to signal, right? Because you know what happens when you really search for pizza conspiracies. You know what you should find. Side note, unrelated, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, he takes adrenochrome and has a trip. Do you remember that? Unrelated to the prior story. You don't own me. Oh, this is, okay. I want to play little clips of this. I came across this song and I'm like, Leslie Gore, you, like, okay. My discernment meters are just like, when I see this these days, I'm like, oh, my music was off. We'll keep it off. Got to go through the awkward castle ad. I'm not going to play the whole song, but check this out. Just for copyright reasons, I'm going to skip forward a little bit. I mean, this is an altar trying to break free, right? Like, this is totally in K-Intro. I'll leave it at that. But, right? I mean, right? Those with discernment are going, yeah, maybe, maybe not. Maybe I'm not onto something. I just was like, that is weird. Gene Decode, thank you. How could I? So, ever do Linda Paris or Deplorable McAllister? That's where I usually hear Gene Decode. 8 Drunken Gods, probably sleaze size for single, then reconstruct whole orders minus the employee freebies. Yeah, exactly. So it's not a real conspiracy. It's just a smokescreen. Anyway, you don't own me. You don't own me. You don't own me. I don't remember how I came across. 2.5 weeks left. I don't remember what that was of. Probably me date setting. I used to date set fierce. I wanted to be right. I wanted to be so right. Didn't we all? I want to show them. All right. Then on March 2, I posted this YouTube link. Oh, this is kind of cool. I'm only going to play a little bit of this. I'm probably going to go play the whole thing one Sunday night on the Sunday night show. This is neat. I'm a big fan of this. How cool is that? I just thought that was so neat. Anyway, get back to our background music. And what's next? You know, disparate songs fitting together. There's some really good examples these days. Technology helps us to find that. Does it kind of prove that music is a language of the mind in some way? I don't know. Now, you can tell here that on March 2, 2019, I'm deep into Owen Benjamin because I'm pointing out that a sleuth is a term for a group of bears. I like me some Owen Benjamin. I cannot vouch for everything he's ever said because he triggers anyone, including me. And I have no idea what he's up to lately. Probably something great. I don't know. Like, you eventually, after you follow Glenn Beck, and then you get into, I can't remember who was the next stepping stone. I mean, you dump Beck pretty soon. You buy like 3 books, then you go, I don't think you're going to get me across the bridge, dude. Like, you're just selling me something. But he starts you. And then you land on maybe the internet, Reddit for a while when it was good. Then you hit like Reasonable TV or Craig Mason, and then you find, 4chan Paul for a while. Man, I'm drawing a blank, but anyway, Steve Bannon. They're all. It's not that they're limited. Well, some of them are limited hangouts, probably, but it's more that like you just move on. You start to hear their spiel, and you're like, this is great. I can come back to this any time I want. And they hold down their fort. It's another example. Well, anyway. Oh, Alex Jones. Alex Jones was right. Right? You know? Alex Jones was right. Alex Jones was right. Severe Anon. Okay. So then I post the Mueller report. Or a link to it. Side note. They did a 9/11 report like this. I bought it. $10 at the bookstore. Read the whole thing cover to cover. Boring. I read the draft report they put out 3 months before that. Cover to cover. Whole thing. It makes you feel very important. You're like, I know everything that the government has released about their destroying their own citizens. I mean, about their 19 hijackers with box cutters bringing down a financial empire. I mean, you know, like, and, you know, you're at a cocktail party and you're like, I read the whole report, and everybody goes, oh, interesting, huh? And it's like, you know, you get nothing out of reading it except for brainwashing. It's just dumb. So anyway, but I was probably linking to this just to try to get people to pay attention. And Alan Dershowitz introduces it. It's like, oh, the whole thing, such a scam. Let's check the chat. Guy that worked on the original Chuck E. Cheese robots, and now he keeps them running and maintained in a shed. That's awesome. DC Panic 17, like 0 and 2, boom. Bears, big bear. All right. This guy is cool. This guy's a Calvinist. His name's Paul Vanderklay. And what's going on here? He actually went deep dive into Jordan Peterson for a while. I don't know if he still does. And he would kind of explain how Jordan Peterson was going through this journey, and he would always try to. He actually interviewed Jordan Peterson on his channel once. He always wanted. He's like, Jordan needs to dare to believe the Bible story. You know, dare to live in it. Right? Cross that gap, cross that bridge. Anyway, I'm gonna put this link in the chat for Foxhole because I don't know what this guy's Paul Vanderklay's up to lately, but he is fascinating. He was sort of my Jordan Peterson whisperer when I wanted to stay not too. I say Peterson has a strong Gothic, or not Gothic, Gnostic bent, being Freudian and Carl Jungian. So anyway, that's what that's all about. Then I said, who is this Notch person? So Notch says, essentially, let's click on it. Q is legit, don't trust the news. So I guess I was just trying to, you know, put Q out there without being too bold. Silly me, little did I know. But I might have gotten fully banned, who knows. So maybe it's good that I didn't get completely whacked out. There we go. How we view things impacts how we view things. Hang on, let me read this right. How we view things impacts how we view things, and vice versa. That's funny. Perception is an iterative process, right? So take the Bible, stick it on your brain by reading it, and let it improve. It's a record that improves the record player. You get more discernment the more you study the Bible. That's probably what I'm meaning here. Your ability to see gets better as long as you have to. You got to have that quickening, the Holy Spirit, right? Like, in order to be able to read that Bible. So how do I get that? Ask for it. Just ask for it. Okay. But he must ask in faith without any doubting. For the one who doubts is like the surf of the sea, driven and tossed by the wind. Double-minded man, unstable in all his ways. That's how I crossed the line. That's how I crossed the chasm. That's how I crossed the river Styx. As I said, you do it. I was done. And that was the moment. See, you just heard my testimony. That's short. That's the shortest I've ever done it. I didn't make the book, I say on March 8th, 2019. All right, figure out what book this is. I didn't make the book, but the author of the 5th chapter has mentioned my Twitter handle favorably online before. Now, my Twitter handle was the same as my Reddit handler. And I'm talking about Cyril Brain 2, who had a chapter in the book. Remember the Q book? So, anyway, I always drop his name. I'm like, I didn't get cued, but I got serial brained once. It's my claim to fame. Check this out. How beautiful is this? Iran. Hey, can you see this? Let me click on. Oh. It says MIGA across and MAG or MAD or something. QAnon with a heart. What a wonderful picture. I just like that picture so much. Make Iran great again. The Iranian people. Heart goes out to them. I don't know what their true situation is. I'm not going to believe everything the news tells me. I'm not going to believe everything Q tells me. I use my discernment, right? Let's take a look around the bend and see how things are going. Doing pretty good. Got a lurker on the... Let's see where the lurker is out on the 3 medias. What, show me? Someone on YouTube. Hello, someone on YouTube. Oh, Jake Cook. Hell's Club. You've been probably listening to me diatribe about Flat Earth. Yes, I'm crazy. I'm crazy, man. Did you know that about me, Jake? I'm globe skeptic. Let's just put it that way. I think I meant to mention that to you. I'm putting it all out there. I'm old. I'm all crazy. And what did you say? Last one reminded me of Hell's Club. What is Hell? Okay. Let me read Hell's Club. Let's see what Hell's Club. How am I not remembering that? Hell's Club. The movie? Film Scalpel, Hell's Club. Incredible video. I will dig into that. Cool. All right. Task at hand. What we're doing, Jake, is reading all Facebook posts so I can finally close the book on Facebook. Because it didn't do me any good then. I think it'll hopefully do good on a second read, and then that's the end of it. And then we'll switch to a Bible study on Wednesday nights. No idea what that's going to look like. Hopefully it's fun. All right. Make Iran great again. We covered that. Boink. Let's go to... page... Elon Omar. Oh, she disses Barack Obama. Or no. Yeah. So he calls her a pretty face who got away with murder. Or no, she calls Obama a pretty face who got away with murder. And then she had to walk it back. Oh, you better go do your apology tour if you want to be anything like in this town, right? Democrats didn't abandon Omar over her comments about Israel. Her criticism of Barack Obama is another matter, according to Tina Nguyen. Anyway, just leaving that there. Posted that on March 10th, 2019. That's about when it happened, probably. So we're about 3 years ago. All right, there's me talking about... I love you all. We are born and arrive in a state of helplessness and needing help. Who can help us? Only God himself. Submit. The reward is immeasurable. It's very evangelistic of me that day. There's me in Austin with the fam. Okay. Let me cut to March 10th. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, I already did that one. Let me cut 3 days forward. 500,000 people cheat to get into... 500,000 people cheat to get into USC? I don't remember why I said that, but this is that whole... you remember the cheat gate into USC with what's her name? I'm going to skip this Nancy Pelosi thing, John Yarmouth. I couldn't figure out what that was about. What will we all do with our newfound peace? This is me date setting and saying that the precipice is coming soon and we're going to all figure it all out. Obviously, we got a long way to go, right? Any day now, the white hats will say, we arrested all the pedos. It's over. Jade was on Caruso's yacht at the time. This is the cheater who got into USC. So, this is me rabble-rousing. Olivia, Jade, whatever her name was. Thinking for oneself requires kilocalories. Here my point is, it's understandable. You should not change your mind at every whim or your mush, right? It does take kilocalories to contemplate updating your neural networks, right? Like, they run with kilocalories, but they update with X amount more kilocalories. So, use your discernment. Don't just believe everything that everybody tells you. If you believe everything, you believe nothing, right? Anyway, that was kind of the point there. Hell's Club is a YouTube video matchup. Oh, okay. I will check that out. Yeah, what I'm reading is the YouTube comments through Restream so that I can kind of see them all in one place. I still have to go to Facebook manually, which is annoying. And then a Foxhole is in a separate channel. Let's see. Foxhole is kind of quiet. Let me check the lurkers elsewhere. Still lurking, so I'll still keep going. It's getting close to my bedtime. Got a big meeting tomorrow. Like, I set this time up before work tripled. Ugh. Hey, work is work, right? You take it. You take what you can get. Let's keep going, though, because I'm having a blast. And I got to get through these so I can get to the Bible study. Just skip some. I would, but I can't. Southern Watchdog Under Siege. This is Southern Poverty Center. So the point of this article, I'm not going to try to mess with the paywall. A mystery, I said, trying to troll. Let's see how well I trolled. They will not let me. Here, let's do this again. All right, let's see if I can just pop it into a notepad and read it for you. What was the point? The center... Oh, they let Mr. D's go. D's nuts. Co-founder Morris D's let go. Why? Why? Some kind of controversy, right? Anyway, enough of that. Oh, I actually saved a clip. The center gave no clear indication why it let Mr. D's nuts go. But the president of the group, Richard Cohen, said in a statement, a comprehensive assessment of our internal climate and work practices was imminent, suggesting the dismissal was tied to conflict among the staff. Okay, so this must be my resignation weekend post. He's probably got some dirt on him, and the white hats had probably found it, was probably the vibe that I was going for there. Suicide weekend, which could be career suicide, doesn't have to be physical suicide. So if you click on this, this is probably, yeah, this guy is awesome. So who was it earlier asking about Flat Earth? It was DC Panic Patriot 17. DC Panic 17, sorry. So check this out. This is, I'll put this link for you. You want to get some good Flat Earth? I think this channel, Dr. John D. These are some pretty hardcore proofs that are pretty hard to escape. Let me put this in the chat. 8 Drunken Gods. If the ice caps are a distant cold from the sun, why doesn't the equator freeze at night? Distant. Okay, so my model is typically snow globe with sun in the middle going around. So it should freeze at the ice caps and at the North Pole. But the sun goes right over the equator, I think. Why is it? Oh, so you're saying, yeah, so is it possible that the Earth has a hysteresis effect and it takes a while to heat it up, right? So that's the argument of the spinning ball Earth model. It's spinning like this. So here's the North Pole and here's the equator, and the sun's here for months. I see your point. I love it. So it's spinning like this. Absolutely. But if it, that's a really good point. I'm not even going to argue. That's I think that's, if I'm hearing you right, that's a pretty why am I playing that? Anyway, this guy takes some really good laser measurements across large bodies of water. And what you basically have to conclude is that the refraction of light is 30 times worse because of the curve. So the light is following. Because light can refract, right, around a curved atmosphere. But it needs to be 30x the most you can reflect light. So I'm just saying. So here's Trump retweeting a tweet from a Q enthusiast. I don't know if we'll be able to see it. Yeah, the tweet is from a suspended account, but it happened. Don't you think somebody in the White House would have stopped that from happening unless... Just saying. Not saying, but I'm saying. pretty much saying. All right. Then we switch to March 19th, a day later. About a year and a half until the next election. Yeah. So about a year from COVID, right? Then I go to March 21, 2 posts down. QAnon, Rachel Chandler. Oh yeah, we're getting into the thick of it now, right? Attacking a random woman in a disturbing and dangerous way. Yeah, right. Rachel Chandler. Rachel Handler. Oh, I hate these toe fungus ads. So anyway, don't want to read through it, but just live in the glory days, right? Back in the day when you weren't quite banned, but you were getting shadow banned. Special counsel Robert Mueller's highly... Why did I link to that picture? Anticipated report handed story. Why am I linking to this? I don't remember. All right, then we go 4 days later. A hand-picked bar. Here's my image for the hand-picked bar. I was like, surely I can find a hand-picked bar and mention a hand-picked bar. So Bill Barr was hand-picked. Hand-picked, right? So now let's go to... Let's go here. Yeah. So just keep that in mind as we go through the future. Like Bill Barr, pro or con, right? You know, but we're watching the show. Let me check the chats. Let me check the YouTube chats. Got it. We're doing good. Some people went to sleep. I'm not going to say which ones on YouTube. All right, we're going to go for a little while longer here. Hand-picked bar. So we're about 20% through the prep I had left, and I went all the way to the end. So I think we are 4 more episodes, I'm going to guess. Maybe 3 more, but probably 4. All right. Let's see. Then on March 27th, I said, whatever this is. Yeah, okay. I couldn't remember why I was linking this. It's like a secret FBI drop or something. The Apple Capitol Loop Trail. There was some sort of skullduggery going on, and I couldn't remember, and I stopped research. I stopped researching for this show. Does anybody remember what that picture was from? Anyway, that's probably where, like, Russian spies dropped. So, on March 27th, 2019, I was mad at Gorka. I don't remember what he was doing, but I was dissing him on Facebook. I don't remember. How bad did he get? I don't remember. 8 Drunken God says, there are tons of hot volcanoes on the equator. Gene says the answer is torsion energy. The cap's negative cold and the equator positive hot. Totally legit. That seems totally reasonable. DC Panic 17, I'm here, I'm eating. Fair point. Did you get that link? That link is to Dr. John D. or whatever. Really, really good. Like specific scientific measurements and good theories and good stuff. That's spinning ball skeptic. But like science-y. Okay, so here... I say... It's a Trump tweet you can't see anymore. I don't remember what it said. It's a bold declaration. I'm pondering any opinion. It's just pushing Trump. Trying to get Trump visibility. Trying to do my little part, right? Not that Trump is our savior, but Trump was involved in some kind of thing. HUD alleges Facebook breaks housing rules. That was true. I don't remember where I got that from. But nobody's going to know if you don't tell them, so I tried. We are the news now. NBC News. Biden doesn't recall close encounter with former Nevada Assemblywoman. And my comment was, oh, that's not what I was hoping to read about Uncle Joe. So I'm trying to spread, March 30th, I guess he was the nominee by then. And I'm trying to spread some anti-Joe stuff because I do not want him in the White House at this time. Little does that matter. But it does. It does matter. It'll all be good one day. Warning, doom still clear even though largest glacier growing. This is because it's complicated. So the article says, hey, the world's largest glacier is growing, but we're still under global warming and it's going to all melt and the sea levels are going to rise and we're all doomed. Oh, you can't get to it. You could the other day. So I'm just summarizing the article. Doom still clear, even though largest glacier is growing. This is because it's complicated. Right. This must be Hillary. I don't know. Is that her on Channel 11? I kind of like this post. What would be a cafeteria scientist? I remember being a little kid and hearing about a cafeteria Catholic. Well, I picked this part and this part and this part. That's what science is doing now. Oh, I believe in this and this and this. It's all internally inconsistent. They can't unify it. So scientists are cafeteria scientists. I think that's what I meant. Who knows? Who knows what I really meant? All right, next up. Hey, we made it to April. I just did a let me Google that for you. But I think right. I Googled Q. You can see in the URL. Here, let's watch it. Twink. 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 Q. Oh, it doesn't type the Q. Huh. I wonder if that... Who knows? But anyway. Oh, I thought... Oh, maybe I didn't... Maybe question mark Q equal... Oh. So I didn't do it. Okay. Anyway. Oh, so this next post... If you... This is an epistemology thing, in my opinion. In order to have meaningful, usable math or language to describe anything of interest to humans, you have to have 7 given axioms. And they can be formulated different ways. The common one is the Zermelo-Fraenkel plus the axiom of choice, or ZFC. And that's this link here. We'll take a peek. So, any real discussion must agree on ZFC. This is sort of like in a naive version. It's like 1 in addition leads to all the counting numbers. You know, it's all those basic set theory stuff. But it's complicated. It's kind of hard to follow, honestly, for me. But I'm always asking people, you know, why do you think that? Why do you think that? Why do you think that? At the end of the day, math and science has never given us anything better in all of philosophy than ZFC. It's good. You need 7 givens to get things up and running, and you'll still run into Kurt Gödel's incompleteness theorem or Alan Turing's halting problems. So you've got a lower bound and an upper bound of what you can know. Bell's theorem we talked about on last Sunday. There's limits, right? We're not going to know it all. God knows, but we don't. Then I said on April 2... I did that. Anyone nearby can go join and help refute this craziness. Let's see, what was this? Oh, there's another flat earth thing. All right, I'll put this, the Bedford level, I'll put this in the chat from DC Panic 17. Bedford level in Holland. And the guy did a careful measurement and found out, strangely, it's flat. So I said on Facebook, anyone live near can go refute this? This is crazy. Sad, but we have to cover it. Next day I posted, might the pencil neck know more? Hasn't he passed away now? I forget. Or he's in jail or something. He's had sex with dead people. Yeah. Convicted in meth overdose deaths of Gimmel. Sad. He was busy doing something in April 4th, 2019, and I forget what, but I was like, I called him a pencil neck. I kind of wish I hadn't now that he's stuck in jail. I'm glad he's in jail, though. All right. Then on April 4th, I said, what? about a dead link that says Nexium hacked billionaires' emails. Does anyone listening, now or later on recording, not know what Nexium did is? If you don't, ask me. It's a cult. It's a bad cult. What's her name? Chloe Sullivan. Okay. You're going to do a show, and you don't want to use Lana Lane or Lois Lane or whatever. Lois Lane. I mean, come on. Chloe Sullivan is Lois Lane. And she was a reporter. I mean, it's so funny. What? All right. I don't remember why we were saying admixture in April 5th of 2019. And I thought about not mentioning this. I hate that word. How's an admixture different than a mixture? What is that dumb word? I don't understand. I don't like it. All right. And then I ask on the 7th, could a non-dualist also be a non-monist? My first episode of the Sunday Night Show a couple months ago was dualism is wrong, monism is wrong, non-dualism is right, non-monism is right. So I believe 3 years ago, for sure, yes, absolutely. That's how you should be. You should be a non-dualist, non-monist. Monist is not monotheism, it's monism, which is pantheism, basically. Got my usual name on D Live on April 12th, 2019. Yay. Prepping for tomorrow. Dana Puente. It must have been a debate coming up. Who knows? My point here is just I was trying to keep people's eyes on the prize. Where we post Facebook news feed 1, we post Facebook news feed all. I thought that was kind of funny. I don't know. Mixed media, right? If you know, you know. If you don't know, ask a friend that knows. You know who knows. It's the weird one. It's the weird one that wears the tinfoil. U.S. labels elite Iran force a foreign terroristic organization. You know, didn't they just undo that just the other day? Why does it change? Probably because chocolate rations are up today and we've always been at war with Eurasia, right? Look at these evil pigs. No, I don't know that for sure. I don't even know. I'm just kidding. 11 days ago, but I didn't see this until now. Should give pause. I don't remember what my point was then, but I know what my thoughts are now. All right. I just shared them. Ritalin cures... Okay. I've been trying not to do a lot of Onion and Babylon Bee still, but this is hilarious. Ritalin cures the next Picasso. I mean, it's sad and true. I mean, some people should, like, if there's parents that make the decision, that's your decision. I'm not going to get in the middle of that. But I do think it's for most people overprescribed. Is that link the Coldplay? Oh, that link above, DC Panic 17, the one that ends with M3I or FDM3I, that's the... I didn't play Coldplay. That's the laser experiment, the other laser experiment. Or you might have been talking about a different link. Sorry, I'm clearly getting tired. I took a little caffeine before the show, but not much. Free Britney. Everything to know. I'm still very into Free Britney. Man, nobody wants to be mind controlled like that. All right, let me just do one or two more, and then I'm going to start winding this bad boy down. Not because I want to, but because I have to. Flashback size. Do you remember this? I mean, that's some Illuminati one-eye symbolism. He's telling the kids he's spying on them. And you remember Bill Cosby? Kind of a similar gesture figure in some ways. Was in a TV show called Could I Spy? And he got shame ritualed. Probably deservedly so, who knows? But, I don't know for sure. So here's there's a lot's going on in this. I don't know the half of it. Anyway, how was that post? All right. couple more. I just like this picture. Saw the carpet in a hotel, took the picture. Traveling through space and time. Now, we're going to May 3rd. I keep seeing Elton John when they show Bill Barr. This is just funny. It's the same guy. I mean, clearly. Comey news upticking on May 13. I don't remember why, but I thought I would just share that that's the kind of thing we talked about on the Facebook. If they had 91 the hammers, I must have been trying to code something there, or I don't remember. But I have a feeling it had to do with our story. Can scientists believe resurrection? 3 hypotheses. We don't have to read it, but here's the article. Oh, it doesn't exist anymore, but it did. Oh, the Piper. This must be when Roddy Piper passed. Poor Roddy Piper. I mean, great wrestler and movie star. Hollywood movie star in at least what? They Live, or the whatever that movie was. Not They Live. I forget the name of the movie. All right. If you know, you'll enjoy this. You'll miss the old days when we thought something cool was happening. Comey soon, then D-Class, then what? The Avalanche, Elton Bar, 8 Drunken Gods, Elton Bar. DC Panic 17. That was certainly not the right link. Which link do you want? Do you want the Van Halen meets Jackson 5? I could find that. Friday the 13th, Nicola Parsley. So I clicked on this article. DC Panic 17, you got it. This is about a guy named Jason killing somebody named Nicola or something. Oh, in Friday the 13th. But what I'm trying to point out here is it may not have been OJ. He may have been covering up for someone. I don't want to say a lot. But that's when I realized that. I forget why. I forget what I was watching. And I guess Milano and Voight were warring on Twitter, and I was pro-Voight. I kind of want to go fast, get through the... Keith Oberman, let's see what his status was. Perfectly behaved, but his human suddenly has asthma, so Mac... Oh, yeah. Dog comms. Remember these? For those who know, dog comms. For those who don't know, you could hide a lot of info about upcoming assassinations or planned events or whatever through dog comms. I don't know all the rules, but there are brilliant decoders out there that have done the decoding. And then I linked to Etanercept. See how Inbrel works. What is Etanercept? Let's see, I had a point with that. So let's go to the wiki for Etanercept. Biologic medical product used to treat autoimmune diseases by interfering with FDA approval, rheumatoid arthritis. I don't know why I linked to this. I don't know why I repeated it today. Anyway, probably onto something like, oh, it says, I think I remember now. It says in the interfering with TNF, soluble TNF inhibitor, fusion protein, recombinant DNA, IgG1 antibody. I mean, this is all about, if you listen to our Dr. D, a lot of this stuff is in the stuff we study now. Penicillin rise to Immunex, large molecule. Anyway. All right. Well, that's all I remember. You got it, DC Panic. I know I said that already, but let me say it again. P.S. P.S. I said. Let's not fall for this Iran stuff. It's not enough to consider action. It's probably not even real. This is back when they were saber-rattling and the news was trying to get Trump into war with Iran. He didn't fall for it. He's too hardcore. We're half a year from CV19. Look at that XRP. Boing. I was in a little, a $25 XRP play at the time, probably. Oh, this is hilarious. I don't always accept bribes, but when I do, it's usually Chinese. True statement. Yeah. This one's interesting. Sealed indictment cases. And then we're looking at Panic. We see you. That's like from the image thingy that Linda Paris was on to, maybe. Let's pray for swift justice. I was just stealing from the Q team. Gold shall destroy the Fed. 17 is very much a real number. I'm done watching the water. I'm going in. This is me on a picture screen on Facebook. I was thinking it would get in, get through the shadow ban. Done watching the water. I'm going in. Treason and sedition. The Five Eyes. Posted this on Facebook, June 20th. It's time for the nuclear option, D-Class. Shepherd puppies, no, Q. Remember, I'm posting this on Facebook. Two more of these. No pain, no gain. June 22. Do you really spy on us? Google told you yesterday we don't. And that's the end of that screed that I went through. Let's do this. North Korea was after Saudi Arabia. Armenia in there. Iran now or soon. Then, who all knows what comes last? Everyone here knows what comes last. I must say it. Israel comes last. Save Israel for last. June 27, 2019. New Q. I'm so happy whenever new Q, Let's see. And then on June 27th, I posted this YouTube. I wonder why. Oh, Bill Barr playing bagpipes. I'm not super stoked about Bill Barr, but he's pretty much a badass here. Anyway, that was probably fun for him. Some kind of meaning? Who knows? All right. Well, I hate to do it. I think I'm calling. You are here. I'll type in the thing. Yeah, I hate to do it, but let me just kind of go around the horn. Check and see how we're lurking. Check Facebook. Comments. Check the restream. Eight Drunken Gods, thanks for the kind words. Good show, he says. He, she, Eight Drunken Gods. That could be. That's generically he, but who knows? Yeah, we'll end on Bill Barr there. I'm going to play the outro video. It tells you all the shows, all the regular plans. And I've got Sunday night, I have planned Thunder Bill Barr bagpipes. Let's do it now. Thunder Bill bagpipes. Thunder. Maybe I'll do it on YouTube. Wait. Thunder. Oh, Bill Barr. Bagpipes. This is like. I don't think I'm getting the link. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, Sunday night show. It's going to be kind of short with the topic, and then I might play just some fun videos. I want to get people kind of buttered up for that because I might be doing a little more of that. Going to cover St. Christopher. Not as in-depth as I covered the 32 Bruces, and not as in-depth as I covered Paradise Syndrome from Star Trek, but maybe like 20, 25, 30 minutes on it. I'll try to dig a little deeper on Thunderbill Bar bagpipes. All right, so let me call it. It's always hard to say goodbye, but I made this video just to help me do it. So, I love the fam. I'm heading out. I'll see you, Friday with Angular. All right, and this will tell you all about it. Thank you for spending time with us. We're joined on Fridays by co-host Angular. This has been G. Ross, and you are the underscore. Be sure to catch us on the foxhole.app, DLive, YouTube, or Facebook. Current shows include The Bread Pill Weekly. You've been red pilled, now be the red pill. You're out of the oven and ready for delivery on our weekly alternative news roundup and call-in show on Foxhole, DLive, YouTube, and Facebook every Friday at 5:30 p.m. Central, co-hosted by G. Ross and Angular. Current shows include Epistemology for Fun and Profit, where woo meets goo. You're in the woo, and the woo is in you. A philosophical call-in show with occasional guest interviews, diving into the oldest questions. Most episodes are exclusively on the foxhole.app, Sunday at 11:30 p.m. Central. Current shows include 9dNation, the nation with no denomination. Declare to the custom agents any edible plants or miscellaneous worldviews. We take a look back at how we got here, eventually leading into a regular Wednesday night Bible study at 11 p.m. Central. Catch us on the foxhole.app, DLive, YouTube, and Facebook. Our Friday co-host is Angular. This has been G. Ross, and you are the underscore.